Hi everybody, this is Brazy. Welcome to a Speak Your Truth video blog. What's going on in the world at the moment? The rumour is that we are on the precipice of a great change in the power block of how the entire world functions. We're talking financial change. We are talking political change. We are talking people being brought out of poverty, which they have lived in for so long. This is going to be an amazing change for humanity. But what does all that mean? That is all sort of theoretical hobbledygook. You know what I'm saying? You sort of hear it and you're like, yeah, but when's it going to happen? Well, I want to have a look at the news and start to compare it to this idea of we've got BRICS nations who are literally in a war at the moment versus the Cabal or this New World Order or this Illuminati. And I've got to say, when you look at it that way, okay, you start to think, you know what? I think these Cabal nations, or this Dark Cabal, this banking cartel, I reckon they're losing. I reckon there's evidence of it because people that are losing are finally getting that nervous that they are having a crack at these BRICS nations and they're trying to bring out their fear porn or their propaganda and scare the living crap out of everybody else. So let's just have a look. So you've got your BRICS nations. There's a whole alliance of countries that have literally apparently gotten together, and we're looking at basically countries in the South Americas. You're looking at Russia. You're looking at India. You're looking at China. You're looking at South Africa, even countries like Australia and throughout the Eurasia area and so on and so forth. So all these countries are getting together for the good of humanity. Now, the other nations, the Illuminati sort of strongholds, you've got your USA, you've got your Britain, I mean even Scotland's trying to bail out of there, you've got your France, you've got your Italy and so on and so forth. You've got these nations, okay, who are literally on their last legs, and I think they're going to be defeated. And you can see through the Zionist media, and of course Israel is one of those nations, you can see how they're actually going to be defeated now. And I think if we look at it logically and we say, okay, let's look at your alternative media, let's look at your mainstream media, and let's have a look and see whether these countries really are being discredited collectively. So let's start. First of all, you've got your Olympics at the moment. Olympics is meant to be a time where we all just supposedly come together and allow these Illuminati people to beat their chests. But I think what we've seen through the media, through this Zionist-controlled media, is we've effectively watched them carry on saying that there's been serious cost blowouts. They're telling us that they've spent too much money on an event to bring the world together. I mean, who are these people? And then they're telling us there's going to be toothpaste bombs, and they're telling us that they've got the wrong gay agenda and they're not treating gay people very well when they're actually reporting it totally incorrectly. I mean, there are gay bars in Sochi, for God's sake, if you want to go down there and do some disco. So all of the actual news that we're getting is incorrect. So they're just looking at discrediting the Russian as a country, and not only that, they're discrediting Putin. And Jimmy Kimmel even put a prank joke up and showed a wolf dog that was supposedly walking around the athletes' village because they have stray dogs walking around Russia, really trying to discredit Putin and, of course, discredit the Olympics. And it turns out that it was all shot in Los Angeles. It was supposed to be a prank and a joke, but they ran with it as if it was real news. And that just shows you how frightened they are, and more important, how stupid and how dumbed down the Zionist-controlled people are when they watch their media. So we really don't know what we're watching when we do get any media from the mainstream media, but I digress. The other thing is, if you have a look at the same time, look at the Ukraine, another nation which is really geopolitically important between the EU, which, let's face it, the EU is a group that is failing, and the Illuminati will be very unhappy about that. And you've literally got the Ukraine, which is very, very important to them because that is the breadbasket for the whole of Russia. So they're going after that. We're literally seeing a war break out there. And this war isn't being caused by the people. You know, I want to see a sovereign Ukraine, but instead, right around the peak time of the Olympics, we are seeing non-government organisations coming in there using George Soros money, creating flash mobs, doing Coney 2012 style videos, trying to create problem. And an Ambassador Underwood's come out and she's saying she doesn't give a stuff what the people of the Ukraine want because they spent $5 billion and they just want regime change. This whole situation is about discrediting Russia and the alliance of countries that are trying to make change for humanity. Then if we go down to, say, Bangkok, which you've got countries who are like in the Ukraine, which is the wheat belt for the whole of Russia. You've literally got Bangkok, which in Thailand, which is creating all of the rice for a lot of Asia. So now we've got a very similar situation going on there. So they're trying to discredit China. They're trying to create dramas between China and Japan. And of course, that is a Rothschild held stronghold. And that, of course, is losing a lot of its financial prestige. It's having all sorts of dramas, thanks to TEPCO and so on and so forth. So you can really start to see these tiny little pockets of problems that are actually being propagated by Zionist means so as to discredit these BRIC nations. Throw on top of that the fact that they've attacked these emerging countries by stopping tapering and attacking their currencies. You really are seeing effectively a war being fought by proxy in so many different forms. Now, the reason why we aren't seeing it being fought militarily, I think is because the Illuminati isn't going to win this war. They know they can't go to war. And I think the war is finished. So I think in one sense, it's a very exciting time. But in the other sense, we are seeing desperate people doing desperate measures. And if you go down to South America, into Venezuela, we've literally seen their president accuse Barack Obama of causing the violence and kicking the CNN reporters out of his country. Now, remember, Venezuela was the original country who turned around Hugo Chavez and said, "Give me back my gold," which caused Germany to turn around and say, "Give me back my gold," which the United States, or as I've been calling them, a cabal nation, hasn't been able to do because they don't have the gold. So I think we're seeing a clash of two major groups. We've got the BRICS nations, and of course we've got the cabal nations. And I believe that these cabal nations are effectively losing. And this won't be a battle of military. I think this will be a battle of the elites and about the humanity taking back what is theirs. And that is planet Earth. And that is about taking back what is ours. And that is all of us working together to creating a better planet. And unfortunately, the elite have realized that the people are rising in consciousness and are taking back their own human being as well. And I think when you start to look at it, this is their last ditch effort. They're literally trying to use the media, which we know is a load of garbage, and they're trying to do it to us by just filling our minds with a large amount of fear porn or propaganda to try and twist us into believing something which is just nonsense on so many levels all at once around the planet. So I say to you, I want to hear your opinion, but I think it's time to relax and to watch these last little firelighters who are sporadic. Just let them play it out. Let them play it out, because they'll disappear. And I truly am starting to feel like things are going to change, and we will be living in a better world. This is Brazy. Love to get your opinion.